There are a number of reasons a healthcare directive is important. First, we want to take some of the burden of making hard decisions off your loved ones. Most of the time, when families are able to say, "We know that's what she would have wanted," or point to specific guidance, it's much easier for them to make the tough calls. Second, it starts an actual conversation with your agent. You aren't going to be able to think of every contingency when you fill out the form. So even more important than making specific decisions is for that person to know what you want out of your care and treatments, so that your preferences are represented in any eventuality. This is why, even though you have a DNR order or post in place, we recommend you complete honoring choices to cover any eventuality. Third, it leaves a legacy of what you value. If you take seriously the questions about living a good life, your spirituality, and what kind of remembrance you would find meaningful, you are not just planning your own future, you are sharing with your loved ones something that can help them reconsider their own. Fourth, it reinforces your preferences with legal authority. Now, this isn't foolproof. There are situations where a healthcare directive isn't effective, most notably if an EMT is called in to give you CPR. But a healthcare directive gives your agent a wide variety of powers over your care, and in most cases allows them to speak in your place as if they were you. Fifth, it clarifies your choices. It is likely you think those closest to you already know what you want. That is frequently a bad assumption. What you mean by, "I don't want to live a life with a bad quality of life," might be completely different than what I mean by it. In my time presenting honoring choices, I have asked thousands of people about a life in which they could no longer speak or recognize their family, but were surrounded by smiling strangers, able to enjoy the sights of nature, their favorite television show, and a good cup of coffee. So what do you think? Is that a life worth every medical treatment to preserve, or not? Surprise! Not only can I report that roughly half the people I asked felt differently than you, but most of them couldn't even imagine feeling any other way. Instead of assuming that we're all making the same judgment calls, let's put something on paper and in conversation that explains it. Now we just need to flesh out a few details and you'll be ready to go. In essence, there are 4 steps. Think about what you want from your future healthcare. Choose a healthcare agent to speak for you if you cannot. Complete the 8-page directive and give it to everybody involved in your care. So let's begin with that first step, shall we? Take a moment to think about a significant death in your life. Pause, close your eyes if it helps, and remember those final days. Was there anything positive about this death? Anything beautiful, meaningful, peaceful, or even holy? What was it? Was there anything negative about this death? Anything that you want to avoid when your time comes? What do you want to experience, and how can we make that more likely? With that in mind, I want you to think about the things in life that bring you joy. What gives your life meaning? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? If you had to identify what makes your life worth living, what would you say? once you've given some thought to living fully and dying well, and I understand that it may take a few days to flesh that out fully, but once you have them clear, you'll be ready to explain what is most important to preserve in your life and when you might be ready to let go, which treatments will enhance the life you want, and which ones will get in the way.